Peace, family. Hotel, Assalamu alaikum, all power to the people, black power. This is your brother Shaka Shakur, and today I'm coming to you with another segment of African Talk, the 15th segment to be exact. And in this segment, I want to talk about two things in particular. One, to announce the expansion of the People Survival Program, or PSP as we like to call it. Now, for those who know and those who don't know, the PSP, or People Survival Program, is an ongoing effort that's worked out with a conglomerate of people, different comrades from different organizations and spiritual backgrounds, etc., with one thing in common, which is serving the people, serving our people. Let me be very clear on that. Serving our people, meaning people of color. It is time, far time, for black people to stop being ashamed, to do for yourself, to do for your own, to accept your own. You know, we get caught up with accepting everybody else and not doing for ourselves. And it's time to bring that back into existence. Now I'll talk about that a little later on. But the expansion is that we now have a week-long program. Whereas we had some days here and there, now we have a consistent program that starts on a Monday all the way to Saturday. Now, this is located in City College, which is at 137th and Convent Avenue, and that's here in Harlem. It's inside the Assata Shakur Center, and that's room 3201. Okay? Now, just to give you a brief breakdown on the schedule. On Mondays, we will host, and this is from 7 to 9. Monday through Friday classes are 7 to 9. Saturday is 11 to 3. On Monday, we will have what we like to call the People Survival African Film Showcase, or Diaspora Film Showcase. Now, in this showcase, we will be showing documentaries and movies. And we'll get into discussions on how we as African people are portrayed in these movies, whether it's positive or negative, what's the history. We'll even have a history behind cinema, you know, and behind media, and the deliberate portrayal of African people as less than human, and what effect this has. And people of color, you know, what effect this has when this European society portrays us as drug dealers and gangsters and killers and prostitutes, or just, you know, buffoons and idiots. What does this have when you turn on the TV and you see the Great Pyramid or the Sphinx, and then they tell you that some little green guy from Mars created it, instead of you, the African, the original man? What effect does it have on your psyche? And we'll get into that. Then on Tuesday nights, our brother Shep runs what's called the anti-pig program, or a pig survival program. Basically, we're letting you know what to do legally. And I did say pig because the police are pigs. And we're letting you know what to do legally if you're stopped by the police. You know, if you're stopped, you have rights. You have to know your rights so you can defend yourself on a legal ground. Does this mean that if you use these rights, you won't end up in jail? No, it doesn't mean that. But it means that you're ahead of the game because you know what's going on. You know how to deal with the situation. That's the most important thing, you know. Then on Wednesday nights, I'll be heading off what we call the, we like to take the term general civilization class, you know, coming from the Nation of Islam and the 5% Nation. We're going to borrow that term, which is general civilization class, or African cultural awareness class. And in this class, we want to teach you, you know, let's all talk about the history of where we come from. Because it's one thing to know what we're doing, but if we don't quite understand where we come from, we're not going to be able to correlate those great sciences. You have a lot of people who can teach you about ancient Egypt or Kemet. They can teach you about ancient Islam, ancient this, ancient that. But if you go to them and say, okay, well, how does building the pyramids apply to me right now in the projects getting day to day? This is where we want to make that connection. We want to show that connection by talking about establishments or things that were established in the past and how they affect what we do now, how we can borrow from that to make it work for us today. Now, then we go on to Thursday nights. Thursday nights, because of the demand of the community and talking to people in the community, we have begun, or we will begin, with what we call the People Survival Technical Training Class. Now, in the technical training class, we're going to be covering everything from like basic computer skills, so you'll be able to broadcast just like I'm doing right now. This is out of my house. You'll be able to use these techniques. I'll teach them to you. We will get into photography, film, you know, audio, because I also do audio engineering. Got some other people coming in to help with that. We'll also be teaching wood, brothers coming in to do carpentry, plumbing, metalwork, basic electrical. And this all started because we noticed, excuse me, that in the projects or housing that we live in, they don't really attack the rent, but they charge you an extra service fee for everything that's wrong. So by the time you get through paying for the broken light, or you get through paying for the messed up door or the bad outlet, you end up paying an extra $100 to $200 that you can't afford. Secondly, why should we, the African, have to live in substandard housing situations until a ticket goes through the housing for you to get something fixed, when you can fix your own outlet. And who knows, after you fix your outlet, you might be able to take them to court and tell them, look, I'm not paying this amount of money because I did such and such. I mean, that's leverage. But on a more immediate aspect, we're talking about employment, self-employment. You know, every season things need to be done. In most apartments, in your apartment right now, if you go look at the outlet and you have 2 holes instead of 3, that's an illegal outlet. That's a fire waiting to happen. You shouldn't have to plug an extension cord, 1,000 other extension cords in it because the outlet only has 2 prongs and it's not grounded. That's illegal, but they're not going to stress that in our communities. So this is something you need to know about. Also, we want you to be able to understand, you know, computer technology. A lot of the times now, there's no more going into a job and putting an application in. You have to be able to, you know, use a computer to do this. You know, so we'll be using everything from Facebook to Google to Twitter, on up to putting your resume together and sending it out. You know, back to self-employment. If you have these tools and trade, you can become the handyman or woman. You know, instead of standing around waiting for somebody to give you a job. That's cool. If you got a job, we ain't knocking it. But we saying at the same time, we built the pyramid so we can create our own jobs. And then on Friday night, we're going to have a health class. We're run by our sister Khadijah. She's going to give us a health class where, you know, we're going to know our basics, like what's your blood pressure, what's your blood type, stuff like that you need to know, basics. And again, this is in the tradition of the Black Panther Party, the Nation of Islam, the Garvey movement. We had the Black Cross. You know, this needs to be done. We need to know what's going on. But along with that, we're also going to introduce a disaster preparedness class. Like, we need to be the first responders in our own community. Like in New Orleans, black folks from other places couldn't get in because we weren't qualified or certified first responders. So that means that the European government goes in and, you know, they hit the ground, they do whatever they want to do, and we get the aftermath. We get the report from the reporter instead of from our own eyes. So now we have situations where people say people were killed, this happened, that happened, we don't know what happened because we can't get in. No more barring us out. And also, I mean, how many of us are prepared? We had a simple snowstorm, wasn't even that bad a couple of weeks ago here in New York City, and it kind of shut everybody down. People didn't have enough food, enough water, etc. Again, we're not going to point fingers, we're just going to bring in the people and the tools to be able to teach that. And last but not least, on Saturdays, our sister Tyrene is heading off what we call the People's Survival Program Youth Academy. Now this came from a collective of ideas and different people wanting to establish homeschooling. But we figure, okay, realistically, everyone's not going to snatch their child out of school. We know that, you know. So since you're not going to snatch the child out of school 5 days a week, at least let's get one day where we can reprogram and deprogram the child so that when our child goes back to those places called schools, they go with a different perspective. They go in knowing that my history did not start with slavery. They go in knowing that I've done more than serve European people. I've done more than civil rights. Not knocking it, but we've done a lot more. So this is what that's about. So that's the agenda for that time. And the reason I want to get into that, family, because, you know, historically looking, we know that history best rewards all research. Historically looking, this is nothing new, family. The ability for African people to do for self has been done over and over and over again. You know, people, Mr. Garvey's program, fine example. The Nation of Islam, fine example. Even the Black Panther Party, another fine example. But in between that, Noble Drew Ali, you know, Father Divine, Daddy Grace, and you know, even Malachi Z. York, the building of that city in you know, down south. All of this is just proof that we can do for self if we set our mind to it. And if you look at the Garvey movement in particular, we bought steamships at a time when we didn't even have no money as a community. Now we got money hand over fist in our community. So there's no reason, there's no excuse for us not doing it. We have technology, we have the ability, we have the knowledge and the know-how. There's no reason for us not doing it. Now this, I'm sending out to the community. I've been on a couple of radio shows, and thank you to Rise Up Radio for having us on, Brother Leroy for supporting us on his radio station, radio show. But we always get calls from people, and I have gotten some calls from people who said that they want to help, they want to come volunteer, and that's beautiful. But what we need, people, I appreciate 100%, appreciate, love all the kudos, the pats on the back, that's what's up. But we need more. We need people to come out. Come to the school, participate in the classes. You know, don't just tell us, yeah, way to go, you remind me of, and that's this, that, and other, and we need more of that, and that's good, that's peace. But you got to get out your house too. You know, it's nothing wrong with being on Facebook. I'm not knocking it, I'm on there too. It's nothing wrong with getting on the cyber world and educating and doing your thing. but you got to come out. You know, we got to get out in these streets. We now, in the People's Survival Program, we have an abundance of food now. Now all we lack is people to give out the food. We finally gotten with a black food owner. You know, Brother Jacob from Jacob's Restaurants here in Harlem has offered to give us food that they normally, I guess, would give away or get rid of. So we have an abundance of food. We have enough food, family, where if we get on our P's and Q's, we can feed our people 2 to 3 times a week. You know, but the only thing is we don't have enough hands to pick up the food, to store the food, to bring the food back, to give it out. This is where you come in. This is where we have to stop talking and start doing. You know, if you don't have time, come by this. We need school supplies. I don't want to go. We don't want to go to the establishment when we don't have to. We don't have to do that. Just so you know, I'll be speaking along with, I think, a brother Liam Bay, I'm not sure, at Harriet Tubman on the 20th of this month, February 20th. February 19th, the day before, in the National Black Theater Harlem on 5th Avenue, 125th Street, we'll be hosting a huge seminar. And the seminar will be titled The Supreme Architect, you know, Recognizing the Leaders in Self. And we're going to have like different people coming up and talking about what they're doing and how they're doing it. And we even have courses teaching you how to organize step by step by step, as well as cultural performances and all that. Come there. We're charging people $10 to get in. If you don't have $10, you're not going to turn nobody away. If you don't have $10, then I tell you what, family, bring some supplies. Bring, you know, $5 worth of pencils. Bring glue, erasers, paper, construction paper for our babies to do projects with, you know, copy paper for us to make things for them to take home, notebooks. Just bring supplies, simple and plain, so we can fund our own school. We also are going to launch a sister school in Trenton, New Jersey, under the leadership of my brother and my comrade, Divine Allah, aka God MC. You know, both of us are together in Maroon Society. He's setting, you know, setting that example in Trenton. And they're getting ready to start a school. More supplies are needed, family. So if you come to the event, if you don't have money, bring supplies. We can always use that. But either way, we have to get together and we have to organize. It's very important, you know, majorly important. Now, the second topic I want to talk about is, you know, the homicide of black on black. You know, our young brothers killing each other, our people killing each other. We got to get involved with that, family. You know, not even that. Also along with that, not just that, our elderly. You know, we have elderly who are being attacked, and that's on the rise now. You know, the amount of elders who are at risk is phenomenal, and we're not even talking about it. There is a group of brothers in Brooklyn, I heard, who are just taking the elderly from the check cashing place home to make sure they're safe. That's what's up. Do stuff like that. If you know elderly people in your community, make sure they're all right. Make sure they got food. Like on these snow days when we snowed out, make sure they got something. Go to knock on their door. Did you eat tonight? Do you need me to go to the store for you? If you live in a house next door to somebody that you know is an elder, can I shovel the snow for you? You know, just little stuff like that to show them that they're included. The PSP has a whole division of the PSP, the youth department, you know, that's going to be especially designed to cater to that. We're going to take our babies out and they're going to meet with the elders and we're going to find out what they need. And we're just going to build with them, let them know that we still love them. That's important. You know, as a community, family, we're not going to get rid of this problem that we have with us killing each other and this hate of ourselves if you continue to idolize the white man. Point blank. If you continue to make the European your standard of beauty, your standard of perfection, your standard of success, we are never, ever going to get past this dilemma. That's just the reality. We're never going to get past that. We have to stop being scared to be black, family. You know, when you see Shaka Shakur come in the room, don't go, oh God, here comes Shaka with that black stuff. You know, don't call past me when there's an event going on. You don't want me to come speak because I might say something too black. There's no such thing as too black. If I'm speaking the truth, it's the truth. The truth is we were here first. Even their people know we were here first. The truth is we built the pyramids. The truth is we need to talk about those things to make our babies feel proud of themselves. What's wrong with having pride in our culture instead of someone else's culture? You know, maybe if we would stop chasing these carrots in front of our face called grants and start thinking about what we could do for self, we might get somewhere. We might actually move forward. We talk about what everybody else is doing. I don't care about what everybody else is doing. I'm talking about what black people need to start doing. We have to stop looking for crumbs off of someone's table. We have to learn to do for ourselves, family. It's real simple. It's not a very complicated thing. It's all you got to do is accept your own, love yourself, and be yourself. I mean, it's right in the message to the black man. I mean, everything we need, the blueprint has already been laid down. We don't even have to bust our brains. So many people have come before us and done it. All we have to do is follow it. You know, this is not about giving speeches or big egos. We don't need no messiahs. It's about all of us. You know, we've had enough examples. Take those examples, learn from those examples, and move on it. Move on it. You know, do what we do because we love our people. Everything else will fall in line. You know, and don't be ashamed to say, hell, we first. The black man is the original man. Don't be scared to say that. When I look at black man, I see God. When I look at black woman, I see God. You know, it's not forbidden to say that. Don't be scared to say that. When I see me, I see original. And when I see original, I see God. I see supreme being. You know, I'm not going to stop saying that, and you don't have to stop saying that either. You know, we don't have to chump up and be punks when it comes to being black. We tough about everything else except our blackness. You know, it's not going to be no revolution with bullets flying all over the place. It's not going to be none of that. It's going to be hard work. It's going to be long hours and loving and being patient and tolerant with our people. That's revolution. Everything else is just play. All right, let's just get real about it. So, to organizations like FTP, shout out, Black Cross, Habesha, you know, Rooster Fruits, and all the other organizations, Sankofa School, Marcus Garvey School, all the Wukusu Youth Alliance, all the ones that I know and don't know, continue to do what you do. It's important. And hopefully, over the next year or a few years, we can start to merge these efforts together and work hand in hand and collectively around the country, bring our people black to blackness. All right? And stay tuned, keep your eyes open, because myself and my brother Devon Allah, aka God MC, you know, we are Maroon Society, and Maroon Society is a collective music endeavor that we've started. We started our own label called Maroon Records. It is now expanded to Maroon Multimedia, doing things like we see right now, putting out our own propaganda. You know, you can do it. We'll be teaching classes at the school, at the Sada Shakur Center. I will be teaching classes to show you how to do your own production, everything yourself, so you can get started. So stay black, stay positive, stay strong, you know, love yourself, be yourself, accept yourself. All power to the people. That power is African talk.
It's time to build with the supreme architect. What? It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, huh? It's time to build, so raise your intellect.
I represent the universe, I stand on my square. True and live and manifest, ain't no compare. I speak self-languages and shook off the fear. Ain't waiting for no mystery, it's all about the here. The builder of the temple, the image is self-reflected. The mind stay perfected, the swine gets rejected. The firstborn trinity is I, self, and me. Self-manifested to the he, she, and we. And if you slow on intake, well that's 1, 2, and 3. And if you add the math, the sum is equality. Then take it to another level, see the God that we do the knowledge to the self, y'all, that's G-O-D.
It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, y'all. It's time to build with the supreme architects. What? It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, so raise your intellect.
All of the above has been caused by me. Give it 12 hours, soon you will see. Everywhere seen and heard, thoughts vibrate the words. I'm prophetic with these proverbs. Place my mind inside matter over matters that never matter. What's never mine helps me keep a clever mind. My life's embodied in the build degree. Cold courage never warranted a response from me. I'm true and living 7, no divine body. It's will over skill. Daily supplements of a red, black, and green pill. Healthy mind, healthy soul. Supreme builder, original, never old. Now knowledge that, now college that. My godly facts, they demolish your ungodly stats. I'm artifactual, artificial. Make the heavens cry, use the clouds as my tissue. Now what's the issue? Now what's next? Build the stairway to heaven on earth with righteous steps only. Universal DNA, they can never clone me.
It's time to build, y'all. It's time to build, y'all. It's time to build with the supreme architects. What? It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, so raise your intellect.
The holder of the secret that's hidden in plain sight. The supreme architect, I be the balance in the life. The 7 in the crescent, the Jew in the blessing. I peep how they was living, took it back to the lesson. And swam across the 9 to get my people who were slaves. And dipped across the sand to keep the devil in his cave. Won't even try refining, cause he's savage by design. You know he'll never rise, unlike the sun, he'll never shine. So focus on yourself and get refined and keep it locked. Stand strong like a pyramid, forever non-stop. So focus on yourself and get refined, keep it locked. Stand strong like a pyramid, forever non-stop.
It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, y'all. It's time to build with the supreme architects. What? It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, yeah. It's time to build, so raise your intellect.